ECU Athletics and U.S. Cellular present The Jeff Lebo Show. The Jeff Lebo Show is brought to you by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless provider of the ECU Pirates. And now, in his 25th year, the voice of the Pirates, Jeff Charles.
Welcome into the Jeff Lebo Show, everyone. I'm Billy Weaver, sitting in for Jeff Charles. Coming up on the show, we've got highlights and much more on a busy week in Conference USA basketball. A pair of games on tap for the Pirates this week as Jeff Lebo and the gang hit the road for a midweek showdown against the UAB Blazers before returning home to tangle with the UTEP Miners at Williams Arena, Minges Coliseum. Baseball season is just around the corner. We'll catch up with 8-year head coach of the Diamond Bucks, Billy Godwin, as he gets set for the 2013 campaign. And Jeff Connors, East Carolina's strength and conditioning coordinator, will be along with another edition of Camp Connors. It's one you won't want to miss. And we'll look ahead to next week's games against Memphis and Rice. Stay with us. Coach Lebo will join us right after the break.
We'll be right back with more of the Jeff Lebo Show, presented by U.S. Cellular and sponsored in part by BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction, and by Pizza Hut's $10 pizza. The Jeff Lebo Show continues with sponsorship by Suddenlink. Bundle and save with Suddenlink. Call 1-877-807-3806 today. And by Coke Zero. Every sip of Coke Zero is like a game-winning shot for your taste buds.
Welcome back, everyone. Jeff Lebo joining us now. And Coach, road woes no one is immune to road woes. You guys were 1-5 on the road going into UAB. Anybody in the country will tell you it's tough to win on the road, but you go to UAB, and for the second time in 3 years under your watch, you pick up a big victory.
Well, it was huge for us, and I was hoping that we would play better than what we played on the road at Marshall, which we did. We had a better start. Tougher environment to play in, obviously. UAB's always tough. They are going in through a tough streak right now, but they played some of the best teams in the league. They were 7-1 at home. I knew they'd play a lot better. They've been struggling shooting the basketball. Come in 10%, of course, we cure those woes, and they make 11 of 26 from three.
You and I talked about that very thing on the radio show on Monday. Going into that game, UAB was 5 of 50, or 6 of 55, I believe, from beyond the arc. They hit 11 three-pointers against you. You knew that was possible. They could break out of that slump. The good thing is you guys shot 55%. You hit a bunch of threes yourself.
We were 10 of 17 offensively for 40 minutes. We were awfully good against their pressure. We turned it over a little bit, but when we didn't turn it over, we got high percentage looks. We shot it well from a lot of different spots on the floor. I thought we got great balance offensively, and we withstood a terrific shooting night from UAB. We knew they were a much better shooting team than what they've showed in conference play, but we were hoping it wasn't going to show up against us, but it did, and we weathered the storm. Even a half-court shot to end the first half went in for them, so I was proud of the way we responded at the beginning of the second half.
Let's take you out to Bartow Arena in Birmingham, Alabama. East Carolina taking on UAB. One of East Carolina's best shooters sitting on the bench in street clothes in this one. Shamar Bowden out with back spasms, but East Carolina, they got a three-point play the old-fashioned way early on here, Coach, and Ty Armstrong, and the start of a good night for him.
Well, he was terrific all night. We wanted to establish him early in the game, and we did, and he was awfully aggressive, and he finished much better around the rim area.
Ty Armstrong once again with a layup here to make it a 5-2 game, and East Carolina goes on a 10-0 run to start this game after a 2-0 start by UAB. Paris Roberts-Campbell hits the three-pointer here. You knew he had to step up in the absence of Shamar.
Well, he did, and he did it in a big way, and we've been waiting for it on the offensive end of the floor, and finally good to see us have a decent start to a game, and I thought it was really important for our confidence, especially on the road, to have a good one.
Once again, you go back inside. Ty Armstrong, you knew you had to go inside and kind of get the inside game going, go inside out.
Well, we wanted to establish Ty. We thought he could score inside. We had a size advantage in there, and he did a great job of making some terrific catches, too, in the game, along with finishing with contact, and that was good to see Ty do that.
At the other end, Quincy Taylor hits the three-pointer, and you knew that there had to be a time that UAB was going to bust out of that three-point slump.
Well, and they did it with 11 against us in this game, and they really shot it much better. And again, I was proud of our group. We withstood those. We didn't let it affect us when we came down on offense and executed awfully well.
You were able to answer yourself from three-point land, and Paris Roberts-Campbell, who had a career night, a three-pointer here, gives the visiting team in East Carolina a 29-25 lead.
We could really help us if he can get some confidence going, because at that position he's probably our best defensive guy, and really great to see 4 or 5 from 3 in this game. Really big for us.
Yeah, he had back-to-back three-pointers here to make it a 32-27 game. Paris Roberts-Campbell really starting to get hot from the outside, and then of course inside you go to your big freshman and Marshall Gilmet, and fun to watch him work sometimes.
Well, he did a nice job there against the pressure with a good back cut and a good finish, and finish was the play with a dunk.
Your point guard Miguel Paul gets the layup here, and you're up by 5 here on the home team in the UAB Blazers.
Well, I thought he played pretty well offensively, not from a scoring standpoint, but 14 assists and only 2 turnovers against that pressure.
Kind of a crazy ending to the first half here. Akeem Richmond hits the three-pointer, and with time running out on the clock, a buzzer beater 3 from half court, and you go in with a 41-38 lead at halftime.
Well, we really didn't talk about it at half. It was kind of a down way to go in, but we didn't really approach it that way. We felt good that we were up at half on the road, and our kids, I thought, had the right mindset at the halftime during our 10 minutes in the locker room.
Start of the second half, Coach, and UAB comes out with 2 quick baskets here, back-to-back layups by Rod Rucker, and but you guys still have a 43-42 lead.
Well, they established him a little bit in the second half. He didn't have a great first half scoring. He's one of the leaders in Conference USA in scoring and rebounding, and he shows why here in the first few minutes of the second half.
Maurice Kemp starting to get going here. He had a big second half. He gets the jumper here, and you've extended the lead to 51-48.
Well, it was going back and forth there. We had a lead there, and they came back and take the lead. And offensively, I just thought we were terrific. 55% for the game. We'll take that anytime on the road.
You'll take 3-pointers by your point guard anytime as well. Miguel Paul has showed all year he can hit those threes, and another one here.
Well, a big one. He's been struggling a little bit shooting the ball from 3, only 30% this year, and he's got a lot of responsibilities being the point guard for us and our primary ball handler, but nice to see that one go for him.
The threes falling down. Miguel Paul on the assist here to Akeem Richmond, who knocks it down, makes it a 61-56 game. Then you extend the lead out to 63-56 on another assist by Miguel Paul. He had 14 assists on the night, and whenever you get that out of your point guard, you got to be happy.
Well, that was really big for us, and I thought that was a nice job of there. Robert running the floor. Miguel drops it down on the bounce to him, and a good finish for Robert.
Wild flurry of action here. 8 minutes to go. Shot clock running out. Akeem Richmond hits the 3 to make it 71-63, but UAB answers on the other end with a 3.
Well, it was going back and forth there. We'd make a 3, they'd make a 3, we'd make a 3, they'd make a 3, so we couldn't quite get away from them, but we knew it was going to be tough on the road. They weren't going to go away, and they've been tough at home, 7-1. So big 3 there by Akeem, though, at the end of the shot clock.
Set play here off the inbound. Miguel Paul finds Maurice Kemp for the alley-oop jam. That's fun.
Well, he got up in the air on that one against their little zone that they run out of bounds, and that's one of our set plays, and great pass by Miguel.
They had an alley-oop at the other end. Jordan Swing, he combined 18 points in just 2 minutes between East Carolina and UAB in that flurry.
Well, it was just going back and forth. We're trying to get stops on the other end, and they kept coming back and making a 3 or making getting an alley-oop against our zone. We were mixing a little bit of man in zone at that point, but didn't execute defensively quite as well as I'd have liked in the last 6 minutes of the game.
But you're still hitting shots. Richmond and Kemp with 3s to make it 79-70. Time is running out, and then Ty Armstrong hits the layup here. You got a 10-point lead. Then it comes down to free throws at the end, and this is the one. When do you finally feel like, well, maybe we're going to escape here with a victory?
When the buzzer went off and we were up, that was it. But it was a wild finish at the end. They made some shots, and we missed a couple of free throws, but we were good enough to hang on at the end.
East Carolina hangs on to win it at UAB. 91-85 is the final.
I just wanted to come out and play hard. My teammate Shamar, he was hurt, so we needed somebody to step up, fill his role out, and everybody really stepped up.
So a big night on the hardwood for Paris Roberts-Campbell. You needed that because Shamar Bowden on the bench, he was in street clothes basically, in a warm-up suit, back spasms. You had to have somebody to come in and take up that role of shooter.
Well, we did, and we've been waiting for a breakout game from Paris for a long time, and really needed it in this game. Shamar goes down with spasm in his back and shoot around. We worked on him all day, couldn't get it out of there, and Paris stepped right in there, and we didn't miss a beat and played one of his best games games of his career on the road.
So what's the diagnosis? I mean, back spasms are kind of weird. I know Marshall Gilmet earlier this season had a back spasm. He came back the next game. Is it going to be one of those nagging injuries, or can he get over it quick?
Never had it before. He just went to make a move and shoot around, no contact. He was just making a quick move, and all of a sudden his back locked up. And it's a little bit better now. We're hopeful he'll be able to get in practice a little bit and loosen it up, and it doesn't reappear here in practice, and he'll be ready to go this weekend.
We're going to take a quick break here on the Jeff Lebo Show. When we come back, we'll talk about the home game against the UTEP Miners. Stay with us.
The final stats from this week's game are brought to you by your Carolina Chevy dealers.
Welcome back, everyone. Coach, you got a big win on the road at UAB, then you come back here to take on the UTEP Miners, and we talked about this as well. UTEP coming in here having a week's rest basically to prepare for you guys.
Well, always difficult when you play somebody when they haven't had a week off and they're ready for you. In particular, Tim Floyd's teams. He changes defenses. He does everything offensively, known to mankind, and you don't ever know what they're going to do. They can change a lot in a week, and it gives them a little bit of advantage. Even though they have to travel so far, they're coming in a little bit early, and they'll be fresh and ready to play, having that Wednesday night off.
Coach, you guys had to feel good coming off a big win at UAB, coming back to Minges Coliseum, 10-1 this year at Minges going into this game.
Well, we've been good at home. Our crowd's been involved in the games, and it's been a factor for us. And we'll need to play awfully well against a UTEP team that's well rested.
Let's take you out to Williams Arena, Minges Coliseum, East Carolina, and UTEP. Brian Meador has all the action.
Another fast start for Jeff Lebo's East Carolina Pirates. Miguel Paul from the outside. Count it. Ty Armstrong from the inside. The Pirates building an early 7-point lead. They were up 2 at the half. The second half, the Miners serving notice. John Bohannon. Highlight reel dunk. He had a game-high 23 points, all tied at 65, under 10 seconds to play. The ball in the Pirate point guard's hands. Miguel Paul off the glass for 2. The Pirates up by 2. Minges absolutely rocking. But hold the celebration, still 4.4 seconds on the clock. The Miners get to inbound. Mackenzie Moore to Jaquez Streeter. He leaves it back for Moore from 35 feet. Dagger at the buzzer. He drills it, the game-winning three-pointer. UTEP comes into Minges and steals one from the Pirates. 68-67, the final.
It was a heck of a basketball game and a heartbreaking loss for us. You know, to kind of feel like you have it and get it taken away from you like that is tough. We've had some emotional wins come from behind, exciting wins here at home, and I thought we might be able to pull off another one here in this game, and overcoming a lot of adversity with not having guys. So Robert gets hurt, Ty and Marshall foul out, Shamar's flagrant 2, he's out of the game. So we have 4 guys that are out, but kind of found a way to make some plays at the end. But give them credit. I mean, they made the play at the end, 35-footer at the buzzer.
The final stats from this week's game are brought to you by your Carolina Chevy dealers.
Today we're with rising junior Dietrich Allen. Dietrich's one of our defensive backs. Today we're going to be working on a combination lift with some kettlebells and then some specific strengthening from a functional standpoint that he might do as a defensive back. The first exercise we're going to do is a combination movement. I want his hips down, back flat, bells behind the heels. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to clean the weight up, then we're going to squat it and press it. All right, go. Okay, so 3 movements in 1. Let's go to a good starting position again, flat back, hips down. Clean it up with fast hips, nice and low. Press. All right, great job. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is a functional movement. We're going to drag this sled over the turf. What Dietrich's going to try to do is get down into a nice low position, working great posture as a defensive back and pedal slow to develop the hamstrings. All right, Dietrich, here we go. Nice and slow and low. That's it, good posture, flat back. Balls of the feet, good. That's it. All right, good work, good work. Way to stay low. Okay, this next rep we're going to do for speed. Okay, so we're going to try to stay low in that good position. Let's get about 10 yards quick. Ready, go. Good. Good job. Dietrich's one of the hardest workers we have on our team. You can see he's got great size. He's 195 pounds. He runs well. And I'm really looking for him to compete for one of those corner spots this year. We're real excited about his future and what he can do for us on the field.
Remember, Pirate fans, you can be a part of the Jeff Lebo Show. It's Ask Coach Lebo, powered by U.S. Cellular. Text the word coach to 94597. You'll be asked to submit your question to Coach Lebo. He'll pick one to answer each week. Here now is Coach Lebo.
This week's question is from Barry in Greenville, wanted to know about our backcourt depth. We've had to, Barry, use that depth this year, obviously, with Shamar Bowden in our last game against UAB going down with back spasms. We've got a lot of guys at that position. Akeem Richmond's played awfully well. Paris Roberts in his last game can also play in the backcourt at a multiple positions. That's a 2 and 3. Corvon Gaines also a guy who's got experience, played in the 1, 2, and 3, 4. So very fortunate to have those guys and have that depth in our backcourt.
The East Carolina baseball season is less than 3 weeks away as 8-year head coach Billy Godwin looks to build on last year's NCAA regional loss to North Carolina. The Pirates opened the season February 15th at home against nationally ranked Virginia, but Pirate fans won't have to wait that long to get up close and personal to look at the team. The 13th annual Meet the Pirates Luncheon is next Saturday at the Murphy Center starting at 11 a.m.
I think it's pretty evident if you've been here over the years when you've seen the regionals and the close calls and even the super regionals how disappointed, because the goal is Omaha, and it's somewhere that this program's never been. But I want to be the first person that leads them there, and I think with the way recruiting is going and the talent we're bringing in, I mean, we're getting there, and I'm really excited about that.
The ECU softball season gets underway in just 2 weeks as the ladies host the Pirate Classic. ECU junior infielder Jill Jelnick picked up an honor as she was named a preseason All-Conference USA member for the 2nd consecutive year. Jelnick led the Pirates with 51 hits a season ago. We'll be right back with more on the Jeff Lebo Show.
This week's Look Ahead is brought to you by the Eye Care Center. Eye doctors focused on you and the official eye care provider of the Pirates.
Welcome back into the Jeff Lebo Show, everyone. Coach, another busy week in Conference USA. You got a Wednesday-Saturday matchup once again, 3rd consecutive week that you've had that deal. But you welcome in the Memphis Tigers. Had a tough one on the road against them, but your guys showed that they can play with a very talented Memphis squad. Well,
they're as talented as anybody in the country, and they're playing awfully well, in particular on the defensive end of the floor. They've got a lot of good players. They're undefeated in league play, so it'll be an exciting game here Wednesday.
Then you go to Rice. You got to go all the way out to Houston. I guess the good part of the schedule, you haven't had any long extended road games or road series. You haven't had a whole lot of time at home. It's kind of on the road, back at home, on the road, back at home. How's that played out?
Well, it's been not too bad so far. This is the grinding part of the season, and we haven't had the off week. We don't get that till after we play Rice. So, this week is coming up with Memphis, and on the road at Rice will be a very tough game for us. They've played much better at home. They've been struggling a little bit, but it's just the way college basketball is. Much rather be playing right now than sitting and watching.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks for the visit. We'll see you next week. Coach Jeff Lebo with the ECU men's basketball team will, of course, join you next week right here on the station to take a look at the Memphis Tigers and the Rice Owls. Have a great week, everyone.
The Jeff Lebo Show has been presented by U.S. Cellular. Hello, Better. This is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.